Maid of Honor, Norma June Cannon, now Dunham. She's from Eureka, Kansas. Raise your hand, Norma June. Okay. And this is Alice's sister, Lila. She was also a bridesmaid. Raise your hand, Lila. Okay, and then Mary Ann is another sister. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, Dennis is the youngest brother. What did you do? George.
Probably
They're
got
causing trouble.
Yeah, I was a little snotty kid running around.
George is George.
There we go.
Okay, come here. Turn.
There's
Step
one
out.
there.
Okay. Okay, so this is Alice's family. And then Charlene Carruthers is a cousin of Maynard, right? And Charlene came today from Edmond, Oklahoma. Now, anybody else that was at the wedding? Charlene, did you get some? Yes. Okay. So, well, we've got lots of other connections, cousins, and aunts and uncles, and 42 cousins, is what I always like to say. So,
Everybody talk amongst yourselves.
yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
Spread rumors and stories.
There you go. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Thank you for coming.
Can I make some comments?
Yeah, Dennis wants to make some.
You know, when I get people together, I can't go off without making some comments.
Okay. We'll let you,
I have a few memories of these two people, that there's one really good story that I think needs to be told today. And I know a lot of you here that know the story, but this is for the generation that hadn't heard the story about Maynard and Alice and Maynard's father, Harold.
Maynard.
Alice's father, our dad Harold.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you guys, some of you guys know this story about the late night thing.
Yeah.
And it seems that these two were dating, and they had this thing, you know, they'd sit on the couch in mom and dad's house late in the evening, and they probably did it more than once, you know. The only one we know about that's been passed on is this particular night, when it was getting really late at night, and back in that era it might have been 12 o'clock, in this era it might have been 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
But anyway, it seems that they were sitting on the couch doing whatever they're doing on the couch. And Daddy gets up and goes in the kitchen, gets out 2 bowls of cereal, sets them on the table, and goes back to bed.
And I took the hint and went home.
And Maynard took the hint and went home. And just a couple other things. I remember that I didn't remember much about Alice being home because I was 5 years old when they got married. But it may have been after they were married that, you know, I was an ornery little kid as most of you. All these old people.
You've already confessed to that.
Well, I just want to remind the younger generation. So, Alice, well, I remember I always heard that she was my second mom, you know. The only evidence I ever had of that was that she's the one that taught me how to take a bath. Because I always thought you just got in the tub and splashed around a little bit and you got out. And at one time, I don't know, maybe his mom was probably tired of raising kids at that time. She didn't care what I did. But she probably don't even remember this incident, but she's the one that taught me how to use a washcloth and soap and clean yourself. So that was an interesting story. And of course, some remember the little broken leg story with Maynard in Colorado. Big story.
Oh, that was a big story.
Maynard in Colorado. And I just have to mention that, you know, when Dale was talking about this teddy boy, that there was 3 people met for 3 and there were 6. Well, one spring there were 7 there.
Oh, that's right.
And I was the 7th one because I was practice teaching over in Wichita. And I was staying with Mitchell. And so, you know, I'm really indebted to them for that, as I'm indebted to a lot of my ancestors. But because Dale and I were just talking earlier about, you know, I think about, well, what made me get into the business world, and it was from seeing Dorothy and Earl Mossman run the store, and George, and you know, and the Williams brothers being in business and all that, and that's part of our legacy. And so anyway. I don't know where I was going with that.
Broken leg skiing.
Following me in.
I know. One thing that I remember is the battle with her and her son over his grades.
I make grades?
That really does narrow it down.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, well,
I probably wasn't paying attention.
I remember a few battles between mom and dad. Mom and dad over the grades that come home.
She probably thought
When I was in the household, no, that's
That's the only time she ever did that. You're gonna be a teacher.
And the other one I remember about Maynard, one of the very vivid memories, I was a little snot-nosed kid. And when we used to have the Carson reunions at Eureka Lake, and there's video of this somewhere, in the archive somewhere, there was 48, somewhere in that era, and I started a water fight. And I'll take credit for it, and I'm not sure I'm the one that did it anyway. But I remember that Maynard got me by the heels and took me down to the lake. And he was going to dunk me in the water at first. And I have a very vivid memory of that today, and he probably doesn't even remember.
That's in Betty Williams' video.
Yeah.
It's on the 16 millimeter
Yeah.
camera.
And that was another
It's
sweet
caught
memory.
on
So
video.
you didn't start any water?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so did you learn?
No, I didn't learn. But I inherited that Harold gene, so if I start talking about anything serious, it's going to be weepy. But anyway, I feel like I will respect this couple because they're examples in their marriage and the way they live their life and the lifestyle that they've led and the family that they've raised. And I just want to say publicly that I love them very much and I thank you for all you've done to me in my life.
The only story I want to tell is I want Maynard to tell the truth about what happened to Daddy's car and the broken axle. I've never known the real truth, and I've never heard it from his mouth.
I don't even know the story, so tell the story.
I knew I didn't have a car, but Harold was nice enough to let us take the car, and I believe we went up to Carson. But anyway,
Parking where?
on the way home, I decided I'd show Alice a new road I didn't know about. Well, that road wasn't very well traveled. We came to a little stream, and I thought, oh, there's just a little mud there. We can go right through that. And we got halfway through, and we didn't get out. And I was determined that we would, but then the car blocked. So I had to walk over through the pastures to Roy Hayden, and he came and pulled us out to his town. But Harold didn't scold me very much, and I promised faithfully that I'd reimburse him for the repairs, and I did. But that's the story on the car.
How much did it cost?
Well, it was probably
It
out.
was a lot.
Since it was Roy Hayden, it was probably out by water.
What we should have done was have all the grandkids in here, because I've been telling, not a story, but I've been telling, when you're where you're not supposed to be, things happen.
That people find out about it.
Never live it down, do it.
67 years later.
I think that's about